Very, very good morning, everybody. This is Rahul Ghosh here. Can all of you all confirm if you can hear my voice loud and clear? Fantastic. And I hope all of you can see my screen as well. You should be currently seeing the PowerPoint of Professional Trader Part 1. Great. So very good afternoon, everybody. We have only about 11 people in the house as of now. Unfortunately, being the first day, people generally take a bit of time to join in, get used to how to get into the lab. So we're going to wait for 3-4 minutes for all of them. Hopefully they should join in the next 3-4 minutes, failing which we shall go ahead and start the session. Yeah, so see you in a couple of minutes. Okay, it's 1:10 and unfortunately I don't have how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 people in the session. We'll go ahead and start the session, but before I start, a couple of questions for everybody over here. Question number 1, how many of you in this audience of 11 people already know me, or yeah, so already know me? That's a good question to ask. If you know me, give me a yes. If you don't know me, give me a no. And if you know me, please let me know where I have met you or how do you know me so that I can connect a little better. I want all the 11 answers, please. Balaji says in Bangalore. RT, of course, RT in Delhi. Hitesh, MIT sessions. Kanha, where are you from, Hitesh and Kanha? Bhuvaneshwari is in Chennai, was an Ignite student. Bangalore, Guru, okay. In Delhi, because Hitesh says Indore, okay. Kanha says I'm from Delhi. Fantastic. So anybody here who doesn't know me because I didn't get all the 11 answers? Anybody else who doesn't know me? Okay, I don't get any reply over there. Fantastic. How many of you here have, I'm assuming all of you have completed Ignite? If you've completed Ignite, give me a yes. If you've not completed Ignite, give me a no. Okay, Balaji, the Professional Trader course is the first course that you're taking? Yeah, am I correct in assuming that? Okay, where are you from, Balaji? You're from Bangalore. Okay, fantastic, fantastic. So what I'm going to do is, friends, so I'm understanding I don't need to introduce myself as people normally generally in this room at least know me, but for those of you who might join in and are watching the recording also probably, I'll just give a small 2-line introduction to myself. My name is Rahul Ghosh, friends. So what do I say? I'm 28 years old. Long story short, guys, at the age of 21 is when I had sold my first company. It was to a European-based venture capitalist. For the last 12 odd years, I've been with the stock market, and today, I mean, 1% of India's wealthiest people, I manage their money. They come to me for advice. I'm a consultant here with Online Trading Academy. You normally will not see me teaching many classes apart from the online classes because yes, I look into a lot of direct trading myself. Having said that, we're going to look at a lot of direct trading in this class itself. Once we go over the theory, in every portion we are going to get into the practical aspect of things because that's the only way I feel you can go ahead and learn. Okay. Today is going to be comparatively the basics. Okay, we're going to cover a little bit of candlesticks just so that I know everybody is on par. I'm going to cover a little bit of boring and exciting. little bit of how to mark demand and supply zones. Now, one thing you need to all keep in mind, that is that a lot of you in this room might be familiar with some of the concepts I'm teaching you. It doesn't matter, guys. We need to be fair, and we need to make sure we start from ground zero so that everybody in this room is on par with each other. And as day 3 and day 4 and day 5 start, you will notice that we'll come into a host of concepts which nobody in this room are aware about. Does that sound good to everybody? Give me a yes or a no, guys. I hope that sounds good to everybody. Okay. Today is going to be the basics of charting and a lot of candlesticks. So there are different types of charts. Let's get on with the lesson. There are different types of charts. You have weekly charts, daily charts, 15-minute charts, 2-minute charts. Any time frame you pick up, you can have a chart. One prerequisite, let me tell everybody in this room, that being that at any point in time, friends, and this is even for the people who have done Ignite, at any point if you have a question, please stop me and please ask me that question. Every day we would have a dedicated 10 minutes before we end the session or just after our initial break, where we will be discussing questions. But at any given point, if you're not able to follow any concept, I would recommend you to stop me then and there so that I can explain it. Different types of charts. Trading with candlesticks. Candlesticks give us the immediate result of the supply and demand equation. We use candlesticks to give us a more detailed and precision-based entry and exit. This is what a candle looks like. Balaji, I'm assuming you've not done Ignite. Tell me, do you have any prior knowledge with respect to the stock markets? Any knowledge of how to read charts? Yes, okay, so some basic knowledge of how to read charts. Fantastic, Balaji. So all this also shouldn't be difficult then. A green candle has the open at the bottom and the close of the top. The uppermost point is how high it goes and the lowermost point is how low it goes. A red candle has the closing bottom and the opening on top. The high and low would of course remain the same. Demand, a price level in the market where demand exceeds supply. This is where price stops falling and turns higher. Yes, I have gone beyond the welcome students page, but is that page still the one showing? Okay, my apologies. So I was showing you how a candle is. A green candle is where the open is at the bottom and the close happens on top. A red candle is which a close happens at the end and the open happens on top. The highs and the lows, the high, irrespective of whether you're a green candle or a red candle, happens at the topmost point. The low is the bottommost point. The lower part and this upper part is normally caused as shadows, wicks or tails. Normally world over, if you see any of the international investors or the fund managers, they all call it as wicks. So I was discussing demand, a price level in the market where demand exceeds supply. This is where price stops falling and turns higher. Supply, a price level in a market where supply exceeds demand. This is where prices stops rising and turns lower. The emotions of fear and greed are clearly seen on the price chart if you know what you're looking for, friends. Now, before we get into the demand and supply concepts, I want to just explain a little bit of candlesticks before we get in, just so that I know everybody is clear with this. Now, candle number 1, friends, is it a bullish candle or a bearish candle? It is a bullish candle. Candle number 2, is it a bullish candle or a bearish candle? Candle number 2. Candle number 2, bullish or bearish? Kanha says bearish. Bhuvaneshwari says bearish. Aarti says bullish. Anthony says bearish. Ladies and gentlemen, candle number 2 is a bullish candle and not a bearish candle. candle number 2 is a bullish candle. Now you know why we need to go through the basics once again, because there are a lot of preconceived notions that it is very, very essential to take out. Friends, what you need to highlight over here is that if the closing of the candle, and in case you all don't know this, please write it down. If the closing of the candle happens in the top 50% of the range, I repeat, if the closing of the candle happens not even in the top 50%, I would say in the top 40% of the range, then that particular candle is a bullish candle. I'm repeating, if the closing of the candle happens in the top 40% of the range, then it is a bullish candle. If the closing of the candle happens in the bottom 40% of the range, if the closing of the candle happens in the bottom 40% of the range, then it is supposed to be a bearish candle. If the closing happens between 40 and 60% of the range, then it is supposed to be a neutral candle. Top 40% bullish, bottom 40% bearish, between 40 and 60% it is supposed to be a neutral candle. Clear, everybody? Give me a yes or a no. Now, based on whatever I've taught you, so candle 2, is it a bullish or a bearish candle? Is it a bullish or a bearish candle? Candle 2 I'm talking about. Bullish, because it is closed in the top 40% of the range. Perfect. Candle number 3. Candle number 3, bullish or bearish? Now, in a green candle, the closing happens on top over here, or does it happen at the bottom? Green candle closing top or bottom? It happens at the top. Therefore, it is in the top 40% of the range. Hence, it is a bullish candle. What about candle number 4? Candle number 4. Bearish, bearish, bearish. Absolutely perfect. It is bearish. What about candle number 5? Candle number 5. Neutral, neutral between 40 and 60%. Perfect. It is neutral indeed. What about candle number 6? Candle number 6 is also between 40 and 60% and is a neutral candle, and in conventional terms called as a doji, D-O-J-I. Conventional technical analysis calls this as a DOJI or a doji. Yeah. Now, apart from whether it is a bullish candle or a bearish candle, there is another type of candle that we are going to learn about, and that is whether the candle is a boring candle or an exciting candle. Okay. Now, a boring candle is when the body of the candle is less than equal to 50% of the range. What is the body mean? Body is nothing but your open price minus close price. What does your range mean? Range means nothing but the high price minus the low price. That is, if your body is less than equal to 50% of the range, it is called as a boring candle. If it is called exciting if your body is greater than 50% of the range. I repeat, it is called exciting if your body is greater than 50% of your range. I'm going to show you a live example because there are some new people here in the audience. Let me open up Trade Tiger. Give me a minute. Wrong version. Exit. Let's go back to my desktop. Why is my desktop not coming? There we go. Okay. We have OTA 198. Anybody in this audience who doesn't know how to read a chart? Anybody in this audience who doesn't know how to read a chart? Everybody knows, so maybe the 4 other people who have not joined in today might not know how to read a chart. So for the benefit of those people, I'm going to just show it once. Okay, and the people who are watching this recording, in case you've not understood and have a doubt with respect to how a chart works, please feel free to ask me the next section or send me a mail. Now let's understand what a chart is. A chart basically has only 4 parameters, friends. Only 4 parameters. The top left side of the screen is normally the name of the stock or name of the chart, which is Ambuja Cement in this case. The bottom right corner of the screen basically tells which type of chart it is. By which type of chart I mean whether it is a daily chart or a weekly chart or a monthly chart or a 5-minute chart, depends on that. This, if you see at the bottom right corner, is called as a daily chart or DLY, which means that each and every candle over here represents 1 day. I repeat, each and every candle over here represents 1 day. The red candles means prices are going down and the green candles mean prices are going up. I repeat, red candles prices going down, green candles prices going up. In the bottom part of the screen, you have the X and the Y axes, both bottom and perpendicular. The bottom axis shows us time. You will notice December, January, February, March, April, May. The bottom axis shows us time. The horizontal, the vertical axis, I beg your pardon, shows us price. 180, 190, 200, 240, 260, so on and so forth. Horizontal axis time, vertical axis price. Chart is nothing but showing us how this price of Ambuja Cement is moving up and down as time goes by. I repeat, chart shows us nothing but how the price of Ambuja Cement is moving up and down as time goes by. Yes, once again, top left corner, name of the stock, bottom right corner, which type of chart it is. You have the x-axis and the y-axis. You have the horizontal axis showing you time. You have the vertical axis showing you price. The up and down movements basically show you how the price of Ambuja Cements in this case is moving up and down as time goes by. Okay, now we want to know whether a candle is a bullish or a bearish candle. This green candle over here, ladies and gentlemen, this green candle, is it a bullish candle or a bearish candle? No prizes for guessing. This is indeed a bullish candle. Now I want to know whether this candle is a boring candle or an exciting candle. I repeat, I want to know whether this candle is boring or exciting. What is my formula for a boring candle? Let's go back to the PowerPoint presentation. The formula is that my body should be less than equal to 50% of the range. Body less than equal to 50% of the range. First, what is the body? What is the open price and the close price over here? Can you all see at the right hand side of the screen the open and the close price? What is the open price minus the close price? Removing the sign of plus and minus, the difference between that is what? Here, I'll put my cursor over it. 6 Feb candle. The open price is there, the close price is here. What is the open minus close price? I have an answer from Hitesh. Hitesh says, oh no, Balaji. Balaji says the difference is 9.3. Let me write that down. The body is 9.3. Just a second, guys. Just a second. Yeah, sorry about that. So the body of the candle is 9.3. Okay. Next, what is the range? What is the range? The range is nothing but the high minus low. What is the high minus low? You can see the high price 242.80, the low price 228.50. What is the high minus low price? Balaji again gives me an answer saying 14.3. Okay, so I'll take your word for it. The range is 14.3. Okay, so we have the body and we have the range. What does the formula tell me? The formula tells me that the body price should be less than equal to 50% of the range. The body price should be less than equal to 50% of the range. What is 50% of the range? Let's first calculate that. 50% of the range is going to be 14.3 divided by 2 or 7.15. Thank you, Hitesh. 50% of the range is going to be 7.15. Now, is 9.3 less than 7.15 or is 9.3 greater than 7.15? No prizes for guessing. 9.3 is indeed greater than 7.15. And if 9.3 is greater than, if the body is greater than 50% of the range, then that particular candle becomes an exciting candle or a boring candle as per this formula. What does it become? An exciting candle or a boring candle? This candle absolutely becomes an exciting candle. Yes, this candle becomes an exciting candle. Let's look at another example. Let's look at this example over here, this red color candle. Can you all please calculate what is the body value, the open minus close? 213.95 minus 213.25. The body is going to be open minus close, 213.95 minus 213.25. 1.35, Hitesh, I really doubt it. It's 0.7. Your body is going to be, body is 0.7. What is your range going to be? Your high minus low. What is your range going to be? Range is going to be nothing but 215. You will see it's on the top right of the screen. Your high is 215, your low is 211.70. High minus low, it is going to be 3.3. Your range is going to be 3.3. Next is my 50% of my range. What is 50% of my range? It's nothing but 3.3 divided by 2, which is going to be 1.65. 1.65, I beg your pardon. Is 0.7 less than 1.65 or 0.7 greater than 1.65? 0.7, is it less than 50% of the range or greater than 50% of the range? 0.7 is less than 1.65, which means is the candle boring or is the candle exciting? Is the candle boring or is the candle exciting? You have a boring candle. Absolutely right. You have a boring candle. Remember one thing, friends. A, you can do the calculation. B, by looking at the candle itself, you will be able to say after a certain period of time whether the candle is boring or whether the candle is exciting. Looking at the candle itself, you will be able to say whether the candle is boring or whether the candle is exciting. For example, if you look at this red candle over here, make one note, friends, that the color of the candle has nothing to do whether it is a boring candle or an exciting candle. The color of the candle has nothing to do with the thought whether the candle is a boring candle or an exciting candle. This red candle, by looking at it, what do you think? The open minus low, is it greater than 50% or less than 50% of the range? If majority of the candle is covered by a body, I repeat guys, if the majority of the candle is covered by a body portion to the naked eye, then it is an exciting candle. If the body portion is very, very small, then it becomes a boring candle. Remember one thing, whenever in doubt, friends, please do the calculation. But whenever, or rather in some cases, it becomes very, very easy to understand by looking at the candle itself on whether it is a boring candle or whether it is an exciting candle. For example, this green candle, is it a boring candle or is it an exciting candle? Exciting, exciting. Okay, what about this green candle over here? Is it boring or exciting? Absolutely. This is boring or exciting? Some people are saying boring. Okay, I was on this green one. I beg your pardon. The green one. I was on the green one. I think my mouse dithered a bit. It is a boring candle. If you notice that the body portion is much smaller and the wick portion is much larger. In this case, is the body portion larger or the wick portion larger? In this green candle over here, the body portion is larger or the wick portion is larger? The body portion is larger, and if the body portion is larger, is it a boring candle or an exciting candle? The body portion is larger. Absolutely, Gokul. The body portion in the candle in my cursor, which is marked by my cursor, the body is much bigger. And if body is greater than 50% of the range, it becomes an exciting candle, my friend. Not a boring candle. Yes, one more. What about this red one over here? Boring candle or exciting candle? Boring. Boring. Absolutely, it is a boring candle. Let's say, let's look at a interesting example. This candle, is it boring or exciting? The green one where my cursor is. Can't say. If you can't say confusing, Hitesh, this particular example is confusing or the boring exciting concept is confusing? This candle, then why don't you all do the calculation? And I want even the Ignite people to do the calculation. The open, high, low, close, the values are there on the right hand side. Have a look. Have a look, calculate it. I'm going to wait for 2 minutes. Exciting, exciting, exciting. Need to calculate? Yeah, so that's. I want everybody to do the calculation and give me the answer. Exciting candle. Absolutely. This candle is an exciting candle. So whenever in doubt, always do the calculation. Or what is the easy way out in case you don't want to do the calculation? What is the easier way out? I was expecting that answer only, Aryan. Friends, and especially my new participants who don't know about this, there is a tool that tells you whether the candle is a boring candle or an exciting candle. But all the new people, Srinivas, Balaji, all of you understood? Amitabh, what boring and exciting, how it is calculated? Give me a yes or a no. All you have to do is press S on the keyboard. You will see this study window coming up. Press S on the keyboard. You will see that this study window will come, and go to the boring candle indicator. Can you see there are different indicators? Go to the boring candle indicator and click on apply. You will see automatically the boring candles will become blue in color. I repeat, you will see automatically the boring candles will become blue in color. All the candles that are not blue in color are called as exciting candles. All the candles that are not blue in color are called as the exciting candles. So all you have to do is right click study, add study, select the boring candle tool and click on apply. You will see that all the boring candles turn blue, which makes it a lot easier. All the exciting candles remain in their respective colors. Clear, everybody? Yes? Let's do a small exercise and see whether these candles are boring or exciting. Candle number 1, is it boring or exciting? Exciting, exciting, perfect. Candle number 2, is it boring or exciting? Boring, okay. Candle number 3. Exciting. Candle number 4. Exciting or boring? Balaji says 4 is boring. Balaji, why do you say 4 is boring? Why do you say 4 is boring? 4 is exciting, absolutely. You can't even see the wicks in 4. So the body is much greater than the wicks. What about 5? 5 is exciting. And finally, what about 6? Is it boring or exciting? Perfect, guys. Number 6 is indeed boring. Okay. Now, are all of you in this room aware that how to log in and log out of Trade Tiger? Now, all of you have logged in using your individual IDs or the IDs that have been supplied to you guys. Have you logged in using your IDs? Balaji says OTA ID not activated. Logged in yet. Okay. My ID. Have all of you all got IDs, by the way? Guru says yes. Aarti says yes. Kanha says yes. Hitesh says yes. Balaji says yes. Aryan says yes. Fantastic. Gokul says yes. Okay. Amitabh, just check with your student support specialist or your education counselor. You should receive an ID. Do all of you know the purpose of that ID? Do all of you in this room know the exact purpose of that ID? That ID is for logging onto your trading lab, getting into Trade Tiger, and for me to view your system. That ID, I think, has a predefined amount in it. Am I correct? Do you all know that that ID has a predefined amount? Yes, Trading Lab, Amitabh. What is the amount? Can anybody tell me, Aryant? What is that amount? Don't know. Bhuneshwari says no. Aryan says haven't logged in. Anybody here who has logged in? Balaji says 1 lakh. Not available. For those of you who are not, it's not coming available, press F10, click on synchronize. Press F10 and click on synchronize. That 1 lakh should be visible then. F10 and synchronize. Did it come? Not activated. Aarti, Balaji, what is not activated? What is not activated? Was told to be activated shortly. OTID is not activated. Okay. Trade Tiger account is deactivated. Guys, tomorrow before the class begins, please all of you make sure that your IDs are activated. You are logged into lab, because only if you log into lab will I be able to see what you're doing on your Trade Tiger screen. Secondly, you will find that there is a 1 lakh rupee actual money given in the accounts where you have got IDs. This 1 lakh rupees is for you to place live trades in the market and experience the power of the core strategy firsthand. Balaji, if it is not activated, I would suggest get in touch with IT or your student support specialist. Because today we are not going to be using it, but starting tomorrow, we are going to be using our trading labs. You can open both accounts same time, Meenu, but I would get access, I think, only to your OT account. Yeah? All of you here know how to log into Trade Tiger as well, I'm assuming. All of you know how to log into Trade Tiger? Yes, no? I don't think there should be any problem with that. A lot of new participants, so all of you have understood how you read a chart? Yes, top left corner, what is there? Bottom right corner, what is there? Green candles, prices going up, red candles, prices going down. The horizontal axis has time, the vertical axis has price. We learned how do you differentiate between a bullish candle and a bearish candle. We learned how do we differentiate between a boring candle and an exciting candle. Let's do one more exercise before we move forward. This candle where my cursor is this a boring candle or an exciting candle? I want you guys to tell me. This candle where my cursor is it a boring candle or an exciting candle? I want you all to calculate and tell me. I'll give you all about a minute's time. One person saying exciting, one person saying okay, boring. Still not of much help. What is the correct answer? Exciting, Balaji says. Hitesh says exciting. Anthony says boring. How can the same candle be both boring and exciting, friends? One of you have then definitely made a mistake. Again, I'm getting two answers. Aryanth is saying exciting. Anthony, what about you? Balaji, what about you? On the right hand side, you see the open, high, low, close prices are already there. Exciting, says Balaji. Anthony, I'm waiting for your answer. Anthony? Okay, not getting a reply. This is the candle we were talking about, guys, and you will notice that it is an exciting candle only. Why? Because your open minus close is greater than 50% of your high minus low. Your open minus close difference should be roughly less than 3. Your high minus low close should be roughly about 5. Even if you divide that by 2, you will see the open minus close is greater than the high minus low, 2.8 and 5.45. Hence, it is a exciting candle. Clear, all of you all? Yes, Anthony, can you hear me? Because I didn't get an answer from you. Exciting, fantastic. Let's get into the concept of demand and supply now, friends. We learned what charts are. We learned. So one thing all of you should keep in mind, guys. I will always cover the theory part a little bit quicker. The reason I will cover the theory part a little bit quicker is because I want as much time as you can get in placing live orders and getting in fills in your trades. Before we get into demand supply, it is my duty, because today is a Trade Tiger session day. Any features with respect to Trade Tiger that any of you all have any queries with? Kanha, go ahead. What feature? Integration is charts. What integration is charts? Because I didn't get you. Whatever queries you all have with respect to Trade Tiger, Rahul, I don't understand this feature. Rahul, I don't understand how to get from this chart or how to link charts. Please go ahead. Because what do you mean by integration of charts? Are you saying how do you put more than one chart? Is that your query? How do you get 3 charts on the screen? Because it's very simple. All you need to do is press and hold control and select the other chart. It will automatically open. Press control again and put one more chart. You will see it will automatically open. Press control and one more chart. You will see it will automatically open up. You just have to hold down control and open a new chart. Is there any possibility to put target and stop loss for futures trade? No, Arihant, it is manual. It is manual. Yeah. Now, are you all aware of how to place, what do you call, how to place an alert? Are all you guys familiar on how to place an alert? Yes. Yes. What about my new friends who've just joined? Maybe good to see once again. Sure. Let's say I want an alert when price, what is the current market price now? Current market price is 262. I want to tell the system, give me an alert when price comes below 250 rupees. I repeat, you tell the system, give me an alert when price comes below 250 rupees. All I have to do is right click, add to price alert. Can you see add to price alert over here? I go to this add to price alert button, select that in Ambuja Cements, which is the name of my stock, and I click on when the rate goes below 250, Whatever message you want to type here, let's say buy Ambuja Cement. I'm giving a random message. Buy Ambuja Cement. And click on add. What did I do? I put in when I want the alert, below a certain price or above a certain price. I fit in that price. In this case, I wanted an alert when prices went below 250. So all I had to do is when price less than 250, give me an alert. In the message box, I wrote what alert I should be given. In this case, it was buy Ambuja Cement, and I clicked on add. Similarly, if you want an alert when prices go above 270, we're taking the vice versa scenario. If you want an alert when prices go above 270, add to price alert when the price is greater than 270, click add and type in a message, whatever you want to type, that your target is reached, exit the stock or whatever it is, and close this window. Either way, what is the biggest advantage of price alerts, friends? Can anybody tell me? What is the biggest example of a price alert? Will it work if the price goes down after pre-open? Yes, it will work till price comes below 250. After pre-open is anyway the regular trading hours, Hitesh. We can plan our trade, check arrival before putting trade, alert when it's nearing our zone. It is possible that all of us will not be in front of the screen all the time. It is possible that if we planned a trade, we might forget. Yes, we might forget because there are so many stocks, so many zones. It's very easy to forget which demand zone we marked where, or where we marked a level to enter, or where we marked a level to exit. This alert keeps a track of all your levels. This alert keeps a track of where price is of that particular stock or stocks. Absolutely, Kanna. You've got that right. Fantastic, guys. So alert was another important option. As we come across various options in Trade Tiger, I'm going to keep sharing with you. I don't want to dedicate and waste one full session on just explaining Trade Tiger features. Any feature that you're not okay with, please feel free to mail me. I'll type in my mail address for the benefit of everybody in the chat window. That's rahul.ghosh@branch.sherkhan.com, and one more is rahul.ghosh@onlinetradingacademy.com. It's rahul.ghosh@branch.sherkhan.com, rahul.ghosh@onlinetradingacademy.com. Yeah, please feel free to mail me at the last session of the day. I will also be sharing my numbers with all of y'all. When I say sharing my numbers, I hope all of y'all understand that if 1,000 people have my number and start asking me what to do, it becomes very difficult to track. But yes, anything with respect to help, I should be available. Yeah, it's top of the hour, guys, at 2 o'clock. Let's take a small break for 10 minutes. Let's come back, and when we come back after 10 minutes, let's understand the whole concept of demand and supply. We are going to cover Balaji order types separately. There is a separate session going to be there on order types. Yeah, we are going to start with the world of demand and supply once we come back after a 10-minute break. See you after the break, guys. All right, everybody back from the break, guys. All right, let's get into demand and supply, friends. Okay, I'm going to go a little slow from here. If some of you are familiar with the basics of this concept, I would suggest this would be a good recap, but starting day 3, day 4, day 5, we have a lot more in store for you guys. The lowest risk, highest reward, and the highest probability entry point into a market is at or near the turn in price. This means that we need to be able to time the market turning points in advance with a very high degree of accuracy. Market price turns at price levels where supply and demand are out of balance. Would all of you agree with the following lines, that prices turn only when supply and demand are out of balance? Let me give you an example. If 10 people are looking to buy onions and 1 or 2 people are looking to sell onions, then is there more buying happening or is there more selling likely to happen? More people wanting to buy or more people wanting to sell? More people are wanting to buy. And if more people are wanting to buy, is there more demand or is there more supply? If there is more demand, then what happens to the price? Prices go up or prices go down? Then prices absolutely go up. Same way, if there are 10 people looking to sell onions and only 1 or 2 people willing to buy onions, is there more supply or more demand? More supply. And if supply is greater and demand is lower, prices go up or prices go down? Prices go down. Whether it is vegetable prices in our country, whether it is real estate prices in our country, whether it is the stock market, anything involving price action works only on demand and supply. I repeat, anything involving price action works only on demand and supply. When do market prices turn? Demand. And don't confuse demand and supply, friends, with your regular support and resistance. I repeat, don't confuse them with support and resistance. Price turns higher at a price where demand exceeds supply. What is supply? Price turns lower at a price where supply exceeds demand. Who is on the other side of the trade, a professional trader or a novice trader? Obviously, if you're buying at the right level, the person who is selling to you is obviously selling then at a wrong level. Similarly, if you're selling at the right level at a higher price and somebody is willing to buy it from you at that higher price, he is making that mistake. Always remember one thing, friends. In life, do we want to buy cheap and sell expensive, or buy expensive and sell cheap? What do we want to do? We always want to buy cheap and sell expensive. Absolutely. The same logic, then why are we not applying with the stock markets? Why is it that all the conventional technical analysis tool tells you to chase price and buy at that expensive price? Generally, for those of you who weren't familiar with demand and supply and who are not familiar with demand and supply, how do you generally buy a stock? You generally like to buy a stock which is already moved up certainly. You think that no prices are moving up. Let me get into the bandwagon. Would you all agree with me? That is generally how we tend to get in and get out of markets. Now, you might argue telling me that, Rahul, if the price is going up, then why do we want to be a seller? But the fact is, when prices are expensive, that is when you would want to be a seller. If prices are cheap, when prices have fallen quite a bit, that is when you want to be a buyer. The origin of any move in price is where supply and demand are out of balance. This is where we find the low risk, high reward, high probability entry points into the market. Yes, which is going to be, so how are we going to play it? We are going to play this high probability market turning point. Just a second, guys, I'll be back. Just a second, friends, I shall be back. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. So we were talking about buying when the price is cheap and selling when the price is expensive. Now, normally, for those of you who follow fundamental analysis or who track a little bit of fundamental analysis suggests that we buy a stock when the prices are cheap, and when we sell a stock when the prices or the valuations become expensive. Would you all agree with me? Yes, fundamental analysis tells us to buy stocks when their valuations are in quotes cheap and sell stocks when their valuations or when the price becomes expensive. My question to y'all, and if some of you have heard me, you would reiterate what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say that if a stock and I'm talking about, take any one of the good names. If you take an IndusInd Bank, ladies and gentlemen, went from 600 to 800 to 900 to 1000 to 1200 to 1400. What is stopping it to go to 1600 or 1800? Who defines what is expensive? Who defines what is cheap? We have seen a stock like L&T, which is one of the largest companies in India, fall from 2000 rupees to 960 rupees. Who defines what is cheap? Because 60% of the stock had fallen. We had seen Tata Motors fall from 700 rupees to 300 rupees, which is almost 60% of the stock. We have seen Dr. Reddy's fall from 3800 to 2500. We've seen Divi's Lab fall 50% down. Who decides what is cheap and what is expensive? Are you telling me that the market decides what is cheap and what is expensive? Are you telling me the balance sheet decides what is cheap, what is expensive? This is an open question to all of y'all in this room over here, guys. Who decides what is cheap and what is expensive? And I just want a general answer from all of you. The seller decides, chart decides, FIs decides, perception decides, FIIs, institutions decide. Let me show you an example, guys, because I want you to understand this concept very, very well. If you have a stock over here, Yes Bank, that, ladies and gentlemen, has moved from 600 odd rupees to 1700 odd rupees. You have this stock which has moved from 600 odd rupees to 1600 odd rupees. You're telling me that from December 2016, in a matter of 5 months, what changed in the company that the company has almost tripled? Can somebody tell me what changed fundamentally that suddenly the company almost tripled in the matter of 6 months? All the fundamental people over here. can somebody tell me that if I have a stock like SBI, okay, and let's say I go to a weekly chart over here, what changed in SBI that this entire crash from 350 to 150, that is more than 50% of the company, ladies and gentlemen, vanished into thin air? And then, and what, this is from a course of, let's check, this started in Jan and ended in March. In 1 year, the company fell 60%. In the next 1 year, the company went back another 50%. You're telling me that the fundamentals became so erratic that the company is halving and doubling every year? I repeat the question, ladies and gentlemen. Are you telling me that the largest bank in India has such erratic fundamentals that it halves in 1 year and then doubles the next year again? Because make no mistake, guys, from 300 to 150 and again from 150 to 300. That is exactly what has happened. Ladies and gentlemen, price is controlled by the people with the power of money. One line, one outcome. Price is controlled by people with the power of money. Let me tell you, if market went from 7,700 to 9,300, at 9,300 also people are willing to enter. Why? Because either they have been left out in the entire move and are feeling that मैंने तो पैसा बनाया ही नहीं, I didn't make any money. At 9,300, people are not thinking about is it overstretched, understretched, overbought, oversold, nothing. Their left out feeling can cause another 500 points in up move. The power of money is enough to move the market above any boundary and below any support or below any fundamentals. I hope each and every person in this room is clear with that. If you are not, please stop me right now and I'll be more than happy to give you enough and more evidence to suggest otherwise. I want all the 12 people to either give me a yes, or if you've not understood, give me a no. Price is the only thing that is above it all. Because I told you, and some of you who have attended when I speak, you will know that, friends, this is the chart of Havels, ladies and gentlemen. This is the chart of Havels. Okay, if you look at the monthly chart, look at the move. It has moved from 30 rupees to 500 rupees. Okay, when the price, I still remember, was around 250, it was expensive. When the price hit 300 rupees, it was expensive. When the price hit 350 rupees, it was still expensive. When the price hit 400 rupees, it was expensive. Now what? Is it still expensive? What do you all think? Is it still expensive? We don't know and we don't care, because we are going to formulate a set of rules that tell us when prices are cheap and when prices are expensive. All of you clear with me on this, guys? Give me a quick yes or give me a quick no. I want everybody to be clear with this. Yes, all the 12 people. Fantastic, fantastic. Let's get back to the concept of demand and supply, guys. The amateur traders buy at retail prices and sell at wholesale prices. The professional traders simply trade with the amateur. Let me give you an example, friends. We had a trade in BEDL. Okay, now although you all are not familiar with the demand and supply concept, let me explain this to you. We had a trade that I had given in one of my sessions. Okay, and the trade was that I was buying over here at 221 keeping a stop loss at 202 or thereabouts. Do you all understand entry, stop loss and target, guys? The new people. Do you all understand entry, stop loss and target? Entry is where we are entering the particular stop. Stop loss is the maximum risk we are willing to take, and target is where we are looking to exit. Okay, and VDL, which was in such a strong uptrend over here, decided one fine day to correct from 280 all the way to 220. Okay, 60 rupees it corrected. But when prices are going down, you could have done two things, friends. You could have either sold or you could have got in, because the eventual trend of this move is up, and helped play in this up move. Two options you all had. Buying at a cheaper price rather than selling at a cheaper price is what we are looking to do. When I bought at 221, logic tells me somebody sold it to me at 221. Would all of you agree? Obviously, I can buy only from a seller, right? If I bought it at 221, obviously somebody sold it to me at 221. What happened to the person who sold it to me at 221? Is he feeling happy right now? He is not very happy, because prices have zoomed up 15 rupees from his level, or about 7-8% from his level. Buying cheap and selling expensive. Precisely what we are looking to do. Next, the two key buying mistakes: buying after a rally in price, buying at a level where supply exceeds demand. Buying after a rally in price, buying at a price where supply exceeds demand. Now friends, as I said earlier, I don't want you to confuse demand and supply zones with support and resistance. They are entirely two different things. Please don't confuse either. Demand and supply is completely different from support and resistance. If you have you all heard about support and resistance, by the way? Any of you heard of support and resistance? Bhuvaneshwari says no. Bhuvaneshwari, if you've not heard about it, don't even waste your time. Believe me, it's not worth your time. So people who've heard about support and resistance, quick exercise for all of y'all. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this horizontal line, and I'm going to keep moving this horizontal line up and down like this. And wherever you tell me stop, I am going to stop this horizontal line. Wherever you guys or the first person in this audience, wherever he tells me stop, I am going to stop this line. So go ahead guys, whoever tells me stop, I will stop the line over there. Stop. Okay. Now I have stopped the line over here, ladies and gentlemen, at where you have told me to stop. Now let's see, wherever I stop the line, let's see, is there any resistance? Because as I can see a resistance over here. I can see a resistance point over here. Can you see how the line that I drew made a resistance over here, made a resistance over here, made a resistance over here? I randomly stopped the line. Let me do this exercise once again. Tell me to stop whenever you want me to stop. Wherever you guys tell me stop, stop. Okay. Let me see. Where have I stopped it? Let's move about. Can you see how beautifully this has become a resistance point again, guys? Prices took resistance over here. Again, you will see prices took support over here. Again, you will see prices took your resistance over here. Randomly, if you mark a line, friends, you will see that somewhere or the other it will take a support, somewhere or the other it will form a resistance. That is why as a concept it is extremely weak and not used by us. We are going to use the concept of demand and supply zones to identify where our high probability market turning points are. Now, what are these demand and supply zones? Okay, let me give you a little backdrop. Now, if any of you in this audience, if you've been trading before, you will know that if I place a 300 share buy order, if any one of you place a 300 share buy order in the market, have you ever noticed that it breaks and comes sometimes and it doesn't come in one shot? Have any of you noticed that when you place a 300 share buy order or a 500 share buy order in your individual account, it breaks and comes sometimes 100 or 150 or 200 टूट के आता है. Why does it break and come? Why doesn't it not come at one shot? Why does it break and come? Hitesh says saleable quantity. What about the saleable quantity, Hitesh? Available quantity to sell you get as people buy or sell. Absolutely. You need a buyer and a seller for a transaction to take place in the market, which means what? Which means that first 150 sellers came, that's why my 150 went. Next 150 sellers came, and that's why I could buy the next 150. There has to be a buyer and a seller for any transaction. The point I'm trying to make over here is that if in our 300 share buy order or 500 share buy order, I repeat, if in our 300 share buy order or 500 share buy order, it is breaking like this and coming, then when the institution buy lakhs of shares together, is it going to break there also, or is he going to get it in one shot? Question: when the bigger players are buying lakhs of shares, is he going to get it in one shot, or is it going to break in his case as well? What do all of you all feel? It is going to break and come to him as well, which means that there is a possibility he might not get the complete order the very first time. Would you all agree with me? Let's say some bigger player, okay, and I want all of you all to pay attention over here. Let's say some big boys wanted to buy 20 lakh shares of Reliance, and let's assume he placed this 20 lakh order in the market. Is it possible that how we don't get our 300 shares in one shot, he will not get his 20 lakh shares and maybe get only 10 lakhs? Possible, not possible? Possible, yes. And if he gets only the 10 lakhs the first time in the range specified by him, when prices comes back into his same range again, does he have any pending quantity to buy still? Does he have any pending quantity to buy still? Absolutely. He still has a pending order of 10 lakh shares. He still has a pending order of 10 lakh shares, which means that when once prices comes back into his range again, I repeat, once prices comes back into his range again, what is going to happen once the 10 lakh order starts to get executed? What will happen to the price once these 10 lakh shares start to get executed? Price will start to move up again. Yes. Why will price start to move up again? Price will start to move up again because there are orders pending. this area or this range where prices are turning from are called as our demand zones and our supply zones. I repeat, this area in which prices are turning and moving the opposite direction because of the execution of the pending orders is called as our demand zone or as our supply zone. Okay, let me give you an example. Okay, let's take an example of Maruti. Now in Maruti, let's say that I have a range over here. Okay, let's mark one range. I'm randomly marking a range, guys. Don't pay any attention to on what basis I'm marking the range. I have marked a range in Maruti over here between 6094 and 6015. Are you all able to see this range, guys? I am marking this range and I want all the new participants to understand this rationale. Okay, I have marked a range over here between 6094 and 6015. Let us assume that there is a 25 lakh order by an FII over here. Let us assume that there is a 25 lakh order by an FII over here, and out of this 25 lakh, let's assume 5 lakhs got executed with this big candle over here. 5 lakhs got executed over here, and when prices comes back into this range, are there any pending orders to be executed over here? When prices comes back into this range, are there any pending orders going to be executed? What is the quantum of the pending orders? The quantum of the pending orders is that there is 20 lakh in number, which means as and when the 20 lakh shares start to get executed, you will see the price also moving up. As and when this 20 lakh shares are starting to get executed, you will see the price also moving up. My question to all of you all is, I'm sure everyone in this room would want to be a buyer in this range. Am I correct? Yes or no? Each and every person in this room would want to be a buyer over here and be privy to this entire big move that has happened. And be privy to this entire big move that has happened. In this range, friends, this 6094 to 6015 range that I have marked, is there more buying happening over here or is there more selling happening over here? Are prices moving up from here or prices moving down from here? More buying happening, hence is there more demand or more supply? Hence is there more demand or more supply? More demand, hence I call this as my demand zone, guys. Hence I call this as my demand zone. Clear, everybody? Give me a yes or a no, and I want especially all my new friends who are brand new into the world of trading to give me a yes or a no. By the way, guys, people who are watching this recording, please keep one point in mind. If you are absolutely new to the markets, I am repeating this point, guys. If you are absolutely new to the markets, I want you all to tell me this in black and white. Drop me a mail and tell me, Rahul, I am new to the markets. Just so that I know what attention you need and I can give you that extra attention. I hope all of you are clear with this, guys. Yes, by the way, anybody who is absolutely new to the markets out of the 11, 12 people over here? Anybody who is absolutely new? Hitesh, are you new? Give me a yes if you're absolutely new to the markets, guys. No, so I'm assuming everybody over here has some prior experience. Anybody over here who has no experience in charts, although I asked, I think it's essential that I check again. Anybody over here who has no prior experience with charts? Everybody has, is it? Fantastic, fantastic. I'm assuming all of you have, in case. Friends, at any point, are you all familiar of how this software works? Blackboard that we are in. I don't want to start explaining how to mark demand and supply zones right now when there is only 10 minutes left. Okay. I would rather ask you that, are you all aware that you can even talk to me and ask me your doubts? It's not only through messages. If you have a microphone, I can give you mic rights and you can be talking to me and asking your doubts so that there is no mismatch in communication. Please get a mic organized so that you're able to understand where to, when you have a difficult question, you can always stop and ask me. You weren't aware, Aarti? Okay, now you're aware. Any of you have a mic right now? We can do a small test as well because we have some time in our hands. Kanha, what I'm going to do, Kanha, is I'm going to give you mic rights and go ahead if you have a question, or just say hello if you don't have a question, just so that we are aware of this. I've given you mic rights, Kanha. Aarti, you also? Okay, so I've given Kanha right now the mic rights. Kanha, go ahead and you can talk. Kanha, I'm waiting for you to talk. Aarti, I'll do something. I'll activate your mic rights also, Aarti. There you go. Aarti, I've given you mic rights as well. Any one of you. Kanha, you'll have to go to settings and get that checked. Okay, or you can get in touch with IT also and they'll take access of your screen. Aarti, you also have mic rights. You're speaking. How is it that I'm not able to hear then? This is very strange. Okay, let me get this sorted out with IT, guys. Tomorrow you'll do a sound check and just see that IT is able to give you access so that you can ask me doubts, because I'm sure all of you understand that if you speak to me, it's easier for me to understand. It's probably easier for you to clarify doubts as well. I'm sure all of you in this room would agree with me on that. Yeah? Okay guys, with that I'll come to the close of today's session because I don't want to start a new topic when there is 5 minutes left. I hope all of you are with me on the same page. I don't want to start explaining how to mark demand and supply zones when there is only 5 minutes left. Instead, we'll start a fresh topic tomorrow at the same time, 1 o'clock. Aarti says just a small question. Shoot, Aarti. Normally, we'll leave the last 10 minutes of every day for question and answers. Today being first day, will the FI wait for that price only for unfilled orders? Absolutely, Aarti. Absolutely, Aarti. So I'll give you an example. Can I ask you a question on trade? I have two questions. Question on trade in the sense, Aryant? So, Aarti, if a level is formed 10 years back, okay, let's say if a level is there 10 years back, it's not that the institution has this order pending for 10 years. Okay, but a question for you, Aarti, if the price of that stock is coming to a 10-year low that you've marked a zone 10 years back, then anyway it is a good buying opportunity, Aarti. Because institutions think alike. If you think Yes Bank is overvalued at 1700, then Kotak Bank also thinks the same. ICICI Bank also thinks the same, more or less. One might think 1680, one might think 1740, but more or less the range will be similar. So if price is anyway coming to a 10-year low or a 5-year low, it is anyway a great level to buy. But yes, 6 months, 10 months, 1 year, they have their orders pending, Aarti, and I've been first hand into that, so I know that first hand. No, Arihant, we are not going to discuss trades right now because we are going to get our basics strong. Arihant, our entire lives is left in front of us to trade, my friend, believe me. Pura life is left to trade. These 15 days, I would say, let's pay attention to getting our concepts right. Yeah, sounds good. Fantastic, guys. Then I'll take your leave over here, guys. I hope all of you enjoyed day one. Tomorrow we are back with live getting into demand and supply. I would make an urge to all the participants who haven't been able to attend live in today's session. I think 4 or 5 in number of them. Please attend live tomorrow. Please attend live tomorrow. I'm really glad, Aarti. Thanks so much, guys. It's a pleasure. I want that at the end of 15 days, I should be knowing everything about you and you should be knowing everything about me, friends, in terms of our trading habits and the mistakes we make or the positives that we have or can bring to the table. That is the kind of one-on-one relation. There is a reason there are only 15 people in this batch. It's so that we are aware what mistakes we make, we are aware what our trading style is. You should be able to duplicate what I'm able to do, and believe me, it is no rocket science. Okay, Monica, I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, so thanks a lot, guys. See you tomorrow afternoon at 1 a.m. And a quick pointer, please either have your lunch during the break, because if you have the lunch and come to my session, some of you might fall asleep. So a little bit pointer. In the break, have your lunch, guys. Or during my session also, I'm okay with it. Yeah, have a good evening, friends, and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.